The big day had finally arrived. My lovely bride and I were to be married. After the ceremony was over, we left immediately for a honeymoon. Unlike conventional couples, we chose to go camping. It was different. We pride ourselves on being different. With the virus running rampant, it's not like beaches or luxurious resorts were an option. Getting into the vehicle, the campsite not far from the location of our ceremony, the drive took no more than 30 minutes, followed by a 5-mile hike to get to the cabin where we would be staying. Upon finally arriving, my wife and I began unpacking. It was time to start enjoying a little quality time. I whipped up a nice little dinner that we enjoyed by the light of our fire. After dinner, we went upstairs and did what every newly married couple does the night of their wedding. We fell asleep. Choking. We made love, falling asleep in each other's arms. Waking up the next day, we heard the sound of birds chirping and the smell of nature. Last night was amazing. One of the best nights of my life, my wife says to me. The next day, we went fishing. Also, we enjoyed taking the boat out onto the lake. It was one of the best days I could remember having in a long time. My beautiful wife had a blast herself. Again that night, we made love, falling asleep in each other's arms. The third day, we spent inside. After a little morning fun, I was hungry. Untangling myself from her, I got up and said, "I love you," with a kiss on her cheek. I went downstairs to make breakfast, making all of her favorite foods, to serve them to her in bed. "Honey, I don't feel well. I'm going to rest, and hopefully, once I wake up, we can enjoy the rest of the day together." "Sounds good," I tell my wife. "While you rest, I'll go catch us some fish for dinner, and when you wake up, we can do something romantic together." Leaving the cabin and gathering all of my supplies, I head over to the storage shed. It's exactly the same as the last time I was here. I set all of my tools on the table and arranged them just so. Once the prep work has been completed, now comes the heavy lifting. Heading upstairs and back into the bedroom, my wife lays there, looking as beautiful as always. I scoop her up in my arms and carry her down to my favorite room. Getting her onto the table and strapping her down, I went to the back of the room and snapped her photo. This will go nicely with my scrapbook of ex-wives. Too bad they're all long forgotten by anyone else but me. I thought I always choose someone who has no real friends or family. It's always easier that way because once they disappear, no one asks questions. Getting into my bag and retrieving the smelling salts, breaking one in front of her nose, she wakes up. "Honey, what's going on?" she groggily inquires. "Oh, I do so love this part," I think to myself. "What is going on here is you have the honor of being my next victim." "Why are you doing this?" she yells at me. "Because I enjoy it." Next, I go over to the table to turn on some music and pour myself a drink. Just because I'm at work doesn't mean I can't enjoy myself. Taking a sip of my red wine and savoring the moment, I think, well, guess it's time to get to work. Just then, the shed door busts open and 2 people come in and restrain me. They bind my wrists together and throw me to the ground. The male in the group goes and unties my wife. "Are you alright, Jill?" "I'm fine, Dad," Jill says. "Cutting it a little close. This twisted fuck was just about to kill me," Jill muses. "Sorry, we had a hard time finding the place. And honestly, we didn't expect him to move so quick. But I guess it makes sense, it being years since his last kill after all." "Well, get him onto the table," Jill's dad states. "What the fuck is going on here, you bitch? This is supposed to be my day," I spit at her. Jill says, "Oh, honey, you don't even know the shitstorm you brought onto yourself. See, I live in a community not far from here, and we needed to resupply our meat stock. And lucky you, we only hunt killers. You're a lucky winner." Jill gazes at me. "But don't worry, we're not monsters like you. You won't feel a thing." Jill grabs the bolt gun. This is the same kind they use to kill cattle. Placing it to the back of my head, she says, "Goodbye, my love." After the deed had been done, Jill and her father gutted and cleaned the carcass before sunset. Her father looked at her and said,
Did you have to sleep with him?
Yes, Dad. I had to make sure he had no reason to question me.
Well, let's get this meat loaded, Jill's dad grumbles.
Getting everything packed up into the truck, they left to go home. Upon entering their hometown, there was evidence that a feast would be taking place. This feast could be smelled for miles. This always took place on Harvest Day.